opportunity to be before you. I just wanted to start with saying that you do not have to choose between being faith-filled and being a business owner. Scripture has already showed us how to walk with God and walk through business. So what we're going to talk about today will be some business basic principles, but I'm going to connect them back to some biblical principles that you already know. And I want you to know that this presentation is actually for a few different types of people. You may be here thinking you have an idea, and you want to know where to start, what to do next. Maybe you're already serving. Maybe you're already selling. Maybe you're in that muddy middle and you're not actually formed as a business. We want to talk about that. But maybe you have been an established business, you're wanting to develop. You're wanting to grow your systems. So this is going to touch a little bit of all of that. So I always say, but at some point you do have to decide, all right? Are you going to just be doing business, or are you going to be building one? And so we're going to talk about business formation and some of the real advantages. Doc T has already mentioned that. The biggest thing is that it's going to build credibility, okay? It's going to build credibility, it's going to provide legal protection, and it's going to separate your personal and your business finances. That's probably the number one thing. If you take nothing else from me today, you're going to need to be able to separate your personal and your business finances, okay? And it also opens up the doors to banking. Dr. Steve talked about contracts, other certifications, opportunities. The list is endless, so you want to be looking at that. But we're also going to talk about some risks. Maybe you've been operating, we used to call them shade tree mechanics, you know. Maybe you've been operating, you've been doing just fine, you're getting your little money under the table, you don't need to do nothing else, IRS don't need to be in your pocket, right? But let me tell you some of the risks to not forming your business, not doing that the quote-unquote legal way. Number one, it can put you in some risk issues with taxes, liability, ownership. It also can impact your growth. And the biggest thing is that we as African Americans have always had an entrepreneurial spirit. We've always been able to make it do, to get it done, to share, to give, yet we are not passing down business to the next generation. Why is that? Because we didn't form it. It can't be passed down. It's going to die with you. All right? So those are some of the things that we want to be talking about. So that is why formation is important. Oh, thank you. Left one, I'm ready. All right. So just a little overview. We're going to talk about our call to business, what I just kind of went over. And I'm going to get into our responsibility. We'll dive deep into some of the paperwork. We're going to come back to mindset and an opportunity that I have for you. And then there's a survey at the end I'll have you take, okay? Let me change. All right. So we already talked about this as far as credibility. And the key thing I want you to take away from this, okay, is don't stay under the table when God has called you to be above board. All right? Don't stay under the table. Okay, so let's get to our responsibility. There are several people, several businesses that are operating and several that are closing day in, day out, day in, day out. And why is that? Is it because they didn't have a good idea? Is it because they weren't doing a good job? Or is it because they didn't have the support that they needed from their community? All right, so we as the community have an opportunity, have a responsibility actually to support our fellow man. And there is a scripture reference for that. Galatians 6:2, where it says to bear with one another, right? So some of the things that you can do to support those who've dared to dream to build something is to support them financially without asking for a discount, okay? Support them financially without asking for a discount, all right? No, not the hookup. Yeah, not the hookup. You want to be able to share their work. If they're posting something, share it. If you go to somewhere, take a picture, share it. That organic engagement can be monumentous for their business. Leave reviews on Google, or if you see they post something, go in their comments and say something great. You were there, you had it. It was the best mac and cheese you ever had, whatever it is. Also, refer others. And here's the kicker, and something we see a lot, we do a lot. If something isn't perfect, if everything doesn't go exactly how it should go, if it was slow, if they forgot your sauce, whatever, right? We're not going to go and then leave a nasty review. We're not then going to go and do all this tearing down. What we're going to do is we're going to offer feedback. We're going to offer services if we have the expertise to help them get to the next phase. And we're also going to give them an opportunity, a second chance to make it right. How many times have we gone to McDonald's, they got our order wrong, but we still go to McDonald's, right? So we want to be able to give our businesses the opportunity to support. And one thing that I share with others, or share with people often, is that lots of times our black businesses do not have the funding and the infrastructure to set up and do all that front end stuff. So they may not have the ticket system. They might not have the website. There's lots of things that they could not have that could make things run smoother, right? And so they may not have the economies of scale to buy at a discount, things like that. So their pricing may be a little higher. Just give grace in those moments, okay? Offer feedback if you feel you need to. You want to help them grow, but give them also a second chance and opportunity to correct, all right? Oh, and this one also is every business that you support is someone's step of faith. Someone stepped out on faith. They felt they heard a vision from God. They wanted to move forward with it. They took the step out there. They're doing something, so we want to support them. All right. So, all right. So the paperwork, really starting the business. If you wanted to start a business today, right now, you're going to go this afternoon and start a business. There's about 6 things that you need to do, and this is bare bones, okay? 1, you're going to decide what you're going to sell, right? If you're going to sell a service, if you're going to sell a product. 2, you're going to register your business. You're going to go on sunbiz.org, go to register a new business, pay the $100, and register your business, okay? You're going to get your EIN. You're going to go to irs.gov, apply for an EIN, copy the number down. Now you're in business, okay? Then with those items, you're going to be able to go and open a business bank account. You're going to pull up a spreadsheet at least to track your expenses, and then you're going to start selling. That's the basics. That's the basics. Now, when you get ready to decide what you want to sell, think about what it is you do. What is it something you do well? What problem can you solve? Do you make the best the thing? And how can you sell that? You're going to do a little bit of research, and I can help with that, a little bit of research around how can you price it, how can you make it stand out from competitors in your market, things of that nature. But the basics is what do you want to sell? All right, registering your business is very simple, but you do need to make sure that the name you want to use isn't already being used, so there's a little bit of research there. Maybe that the domain name you want for your website is still available, things like that. But the basic is register. All right. Getting your EIN is super simple, and it's free. The IRS does not charge for lots of things. Most things, actually, they don't charge for. You just have to go and get it. All right. Opening your bank account, there are sometimes small fees related to business banking. I have even said at least open a separate account at a different bank than where you generally bank. It can be a personal one, but it's preferred to be a business one. But at least a separate bank account. And here's the thing. Once you pay a bill out of your business account, you've now commingled funds. It's now a personal account. The IRS can come after all of it. So don't be dipping and dabbing between the two. Keep them very separate. All right. Track your money, track your expenses. This is probably the thing that most entrepreneurs need the most help and support in, as far as what are they buying for supplies, how are they costing their item that they're selling, how are they keeping track of their receipts when they are spending money, and then how are they tracking their revenue, because you'll have to pay taxes and things like that at the end. The very basic bare bones, get you a spreadsheet in one tab, all your expenses, just put the receipt and the amount and the place and the date, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And on another tab, who sold what, how much did you make today? Very simple, bare bones. There are some services that will do all the back-end stuff for you, like QuickBooks and things like that. And there's some other apps that are available that will do it quick and easy from your phone. All right? And then just start selling. And that could be social selling. Selling on Facebook is really popular, going on live, things like that. You can set up at a market. You can do from your home, depending on what you're selling. But there are lots of opportunities for you to start selling, and you can sell today. Like literally this afternoon, you can sell something. And so any questions about any of that? The paperwork or kind of the deeper dive in before we go to nonprofits? Okay, very good. All right. So the nonprofit paperwork is very similar. The first thing that you are going to do, though, is you're going to define your mission. What is it that your nonprofit is meant to do? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to service folks in need? Are you wanting to do something related to elections, the political cycle? Are you wanting to share just what your for-profit business does in a nonprofit way? Those are options there. So define your mission. The second thing is you are going to have to build a board. To be a nonprofit, you don't have owners, you have a board of directors, and so you need at least 3 people on your board because that's how you make decisions. There's got to be a tiebreaker. So at least 3 people on your board, up to however many you want. But starting out, I'd say 3 to 5 is pretty good. Build your board. And how would you build your board? Find some other people who think like you, who want to support the same type of people you want to support or do the same good work that you want to do. It is a plus if they are connected to either resources, meaning funds, or resources, meaning people, that can help and support that. All right, after you define your mission and build your board, you're going to incorporate, which again, you're going to go right to sunbiz.org, go right there to incorporate a business, fill that fee, and you're done. You're also going to get an EIN, going right back to irs.org, doing that. And then for your nonprofit, you're going to apply for one additional form, and that is the 501c3 designation. Again, you do that directly through irs.gov. It's a Form 1023, and that's all you have to do. You just fill it out, turn it in, all right? And then you can begin serving. Now, this is where I think most people are either already selling or they're already serving. I have several people who are already feeding the homeless, okay, or people who are already giving free counseling service, people who are already selling plates on Thursdays, right? They're already doing the thing, but now they need to form their business correctly so they can move to the next phase and get some of those benefits that we were talking about. And so one of the things that I say is the most important part about running a business is that you're going to have a mindset shift, okay? Because you are no longer clocking in and waiting for somebody else to tell you what to do. And when people say if you have too much freedom, it can create chaos, all right? So these are some mindset shifts that you're going to have to, actually I can see that here, there. These are some mindset shifts for you to be thinking about and some of the biblical correlations to them that I think are important. The first thing is not, it's at the bottom. The first thing that I want to talk about is I had a hard time at one point. Is that my phone? Oh. I had a hard time at one point being able to make money from doing the things that I do, right? Like I think I just had it in my mind like, you know, the rich person is not going to go to heaven. He can't go through the needle in the, you know, through the eye of the needle, right? It's like, it's not good for us to make money. But when I look at the Proverbs 31 woman, she surveyed a field. She decided to buy it. She sold it. She had people working at her house. She was an employer. She sold goods at the market. Her name was great because she was in business. It is just as honorable to sell as it is to buy. So that's one major mindset shift I think everybody's going to have to think through and be good with that. And then the next thing is going to be how you run your regular life. Most times it's how you're going to run your business. So are you disciplined with your time? Are you a good steward of your money? And are you building healthy relationships? Or are you, you know, catfighty, gossipy, all those things, right? Okay, so when I think about stewardship, we all think about Matthew 25 and the parable of the talents. And what was given, the master expected it to be managed and multiplied. So really think about how do you set your budget? Like, do you set a budget for your month? Are you working through that? Are you working to grow your budget to make more money, things like that? How you do that is unfortunately, sometimes how you do your business. And let me tell you, if you are not good with money on your own, you need to get an accountant or get a coach who's going to help you walk through that, because that's the first place and one of the easiest places to get off track if you're a business owner. All right. So be thinking about that and be praying about that. Be asking God to help you manage your home finances better and in a way that it will help you manage your business finances. When we think about discipline in our time, Proverbs 6:6-8 tells us to what? Study the ant. And that the ant goes to work without a master, right? So how are you disciplined with your time, right? Because now you're not going to have to clock in from 9 to 6, right? So how are you going to plan your day? How are you going to plan your week? How are you going to plan your month? And when you own a business, be thinking of what cycles are typical for a business. Like as in accounting, obviously, January through April is super busy. But I still need to make money May through December, so what am I doing with that time? So thinking about your cycles that are part of that business, whatever business you're trying to do, and then that can also lead back to the stewarding your money. How are you being like David and using what you have now and storing some for later? All right, and then the last thing about building relationships. You have to build relationships in business. In nonprofit world, in the true business world, you have to build relationships. It's not just about what you know. It's not even about who you know. It's about who knows you, right? They have to be able to not just know your face. They have to remember your name. If somebody calls and they're asking about you, they need to be able to say yes or nay, yay or nay. And so be thinking about how you're building relationships in the kingdom and in business. All right. Is there anything else on that? Hold on, sorry, technology. Good, Johnny. All right. So I said stewardship was Matthew 25:14-30, because if you're not managing what you have now, more is not going to fix it. Okay. When we look at discipline, you don't leave just work when you go out into your own thing. You're actually leaving supervision. So you have to be able to be the boss. We talked about business growth is through people. That's thinking about Proverbs 27:17. And then the other mindset around you're no longer waiting for instruction. You're actually responsible for the outcomes. So you're responsible for making sure that there is envelopes with the tape on it, and that there's tape in the office for the person to make the envelope. You're responsible for the standard operating procedures, the manuals, how you're going to train your team members, all of that. You're responsible for that. If you look at Romans 12:2. And then we already talked about the Proverbs 31 women. All right, very good. So this is our Smart Start framework. It's what I use when I'm helping business owners to decide where they are in the matrix, right? Are you at the vision stage? You just have an idea. You kind of need some help navigating through, determining what to do, next steps. Are you at I've got the idea, I've already kind of started, or I'm ready to start, I just need to form all my business, get all my paperwork done? Or are you operating right now, whether with structure or without, but you're disorganized, you need help with the flow of your business, the cycles, things of that nature? Are you ready for growth? Do you want more consistency, more income? Or are you ready to scale? And that is, you've been operating and you want to have systems and be ready for expansion. So if you had to think through this framework, where do you feel like you are right now? You don't have to tell me out loud, but think through this framework. Where would you be in your life and your business? Anybody brave and want to share where they are? Okay. Good morning. Okay. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Uh, that's how I feel because I'm restructuring it for me and how I've always seen it. So it's coming along. We're moving kind of slow. I have Annette as my chief financial officer. I don't touch money.
Okay.
I do not touch money. Uh, but I am restructuring. And the good part about that, I've had several people who come in to just kind of assist and give me some thoughts
Some
and
feedback.
so I've
Very
been
good.
leading, trying and showing my vision of what I want.
Hmm.
And I know that we're focusing a lot now on kindergarten readiness. And so I have, I always have training leaders. And
Yes.
so I have 3 babies waiting. I haven't brought them in yet because I got to get the right teachers. I know what kind of teachers I want. I know what I want. Dr. Therese sent me one, and she's a very good teacher. And I'm teaching her, teaching her some things to hit. I think you said that earlier about the type of workers who are getting staff ready.
Hmm.
And I'm restructuring the board
Yes.
as well. And so within the formula, and I think this is good because it spoke real good to me. Um, we were trying to keep the same numbers because I'm having the revenues.
Hmm.
And so the guy said, well, such and such. And I said, he said, you know what, give me a new number, a brand new number. I don't want that number anymore, brand new number because I'm starting fresh. And
Yes.
so that's where I am.
Very
And so
good.
listening to you now is good. I'm thinking, so I appreciate what you said, but that's where I am. I don't know how long it will take,
Hmm.
what all of that will look like, but I'm not have to be here that ended up getting involved with the, come up with the financial piece.
Yes.
And then this, I mean, so I'm excited,
Very good.
and
And
I'm
even
really
thinking about what you just shared about the daycare, school readiness, all of that, that already has built into it sort of a cycle. So that's going to give you some touch points, some goal points. Some I really need to have my board solidified by June so that I can have this done by August so that we can be ready when school starts. You see what I'm saying? Like there are lots of things that are cyclical or typical based on the type of business or the type of nonprofit that you're trying to move or trying to implement or start or restart. And so those things can help you in your goal setting and in your benchmarks. And then you discipline your time to make sure you're hitting those.
and what's been good, our system had it, so there's a lot of systems in
Mm-hmm.
place,
Mm-hmm.
and I get to now piggyback off of some of the people. I think this is a very important point. She left a good relationship
Yes.
with all of the people that need
The
that.
partners that you need.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
like with EFC and Department of Children Affairs, she left a good relationship with all of them. But I think whoever work with you, they're gonna be, because she was in the public, she read all of this.
Mm-hmm.
And I was telling her, thank you,
Oh,
because
beautiful.
her reputation and the relationships
Mm-hmm.
that she built have me coming in easy because I use her name and they say, well, where's Miss Ardell? Miss Ardell, and she's still with us. She's running from Louisiana, but her relationship now is my responsibility
To
to make
maintain.
sure
Mm-hmm.
I maintain that relationship and take it to another level. But for 11 years, she built the relationship, the foundation. My name is known
Yes.
in the community, but not with the daycare. So
Mm-hmm.
they know I own the daycare. And now I'm actually
Run it. You're in the day
running
to
it.
day. That
Yeah.
day to day. Yes, Dr. Torres.
I was going to say, I've been in business for 25 years in the counseling
Mm-hmm.
aspect. And one of the things I had to learn, I'm so glad I have a daughter that God gave me. Crystal is teaching me because I am so used to the old practical ways of doing things. And so I get stuck there. I'm glad that I had someone young like you because when I started my business, someone said, go ahead and start your nonprofit at the same time. I'm like, I don't need none that ain't gonna make me profit. I'm trying to make some money.
have to. So two things. One, in your grant writing, depending how you're writing the grant or who you're writing the grant to. Some grants want you to have establishment. They want to see that you've been doing the work, that you have some outcomes, that you help some people. They want to see that, some of them require you to have been in business 2 or 3 years. So, and some of them you're going to need to be doing, and then you can apply for grants. But some grants are there for capacity building. They're there for startups. So like there are options. There are options there. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, the city has advertising. The city has a grant called a bridge grant.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing you have to do is have it in there, have started, and they'll give you $10,000. If you show that you're established,
Mm-hmm.
you got your board, you got to make sure you have some, you got your board that they have for conflict of interest. You got to have a whole lot of stuff in place.
Yeah.
So
Your bylaws and your
bylaws,
policies and things.
policies
Mm-hmm.
and procedures,
Mm-hmm.
that have all those things in place. And if you do it pretty good, you'll get that $10,000 out of it.
And this is one of the reasons why I invited Ms. Sutton, because her business covers that particular piece, that she has been vetted. I don't invest in people taking money and running. She is a grant writer. She is vetted in helping in those bylaws or whatever, because she sits down and gets all that information for you, put it in, you can see it. It's printed, those steps going along the way, and a sufficient grant writer. So I wanted to, and a believer, with all the scriptures that's in there, was looking for someone who can help us get this thing moving. Because God gives us ideas,
Mm-hmm.
but we need to make, because your gifts will make room for it, but we need to learn how to put it in and put it on paper, because there is money out there. There's money out there, but you got to be in the right position, the right place to receive.
You want to make sure you get a grant writer behind that grant, because I know one time the church used a grant writer. Church used a grant writer, but this was a long time ago. One of the members went to this person, and it cost us about $1,500 or $2,000, and when we got it, they rejected us.
Mm.
And they said that about 100 things was wrong with that grant.
Mm.
I was like, I could have written that down, 100 things wrong with it, and did it for free, But so we appreciate someone coming who knows and who will be able to help. We have so many people here who want to start this and dream about it, but we want them to come to somebody who can at least not have 100 things wrong.
Very good. Very good. Okay. Well, thank you. This is not meant to, bring. If you are at the idea stage, or you're at I need the startup stage, or you're like I'm just going to be a supporter, that is perfectly fine. Okay. Wherever you are, we're here to support you where you are. All right. We've got a few more minutes. So here's what I wanted you to leave with today. Okay. Some action. Okay. If you are wanting to do something with the idea in your head, then you need to define. You need to write it down. Habakkuk 2:2 says what? Write a vision, make it plain. Okay, so you need to write it down, define it out. Who am I helping? What kind of services am I going to give them? How do I want to administer those services? Am I going to do a weekly thing, a monthly thing, a group, whatever? Like, define that out. If you already got your idea, you already started working, or you're at the cusp of working, register. Go on sunbiz.org. First, do a name search, see if the name you want to call it is not already in there, and then just register your business. You can do it all by yourself. Just go there and register. Okay. If you want to do more than that, what else can you think that you need to do to move your business forward? Like if you're at policy step, you're at grant writing step, maybe do some research. If you are at whatever step you're at, what can you do this week to really move your vision, move that forward? Because we think about the parable of the sower and the seed. God gave you the vision. He gave it to you. It's in your heart. you want to move it forward, but where is it on stony ground and you're just letting it sit there and not do anything with it, or are you actually moving it forward? Okay. And then my offerings are around like business formation specifically. You just want me to set it up and do the paperwork? I can do that. I can be a file pusher for you. I don't have no problems with that. It's easy work for me, okay? All right. But if you want one-on-one consulting, you want structure, you want strategy, you want me to talk it out with you about how to move, what's your next steps, what are best marketing, what are those things, we can go through that. And then I'm going to be working on doing a mastermind where I want to do a group of folks to walk through, have some weekly or bi-weekly accountability. You're going to have some homework. You're going to come back and did you do it? Did you not do it? What's your next steps? And really start building in that structure and accountability that'll help you when you're out on your own to maintain structure, discipline, timing, all of that. So those are some things there. And then I'm going to end. I hope that if you have your phone and you can grab this survey, just give me some feedback in the survey. What did you like about it? Was it too long? Was I talking too much? Did you want more pictures? Where are you? Just tell me what step you were on. If it'll come up for you. And I thank you for your time today. And thank you for those who shared, those who are still thinking about it, mulling it over. Journal in I would say this, grab a sheet of paper before you go to bed tonight and just write whatever is coming to your heart. And before you close your eyes, just pray on that and ask God to give you your next step or some forward motion on whatever it is you wrote down. And then if you need me, you can call me tomorrow. Okay? Very good. Thank you.
For those who would like a copy of the presentation, because it was in small for us up there, I do have it where I can send it. Any questions?
A workbook page in there.
Okay.
That they can fill out their folder
And I'll send that as well. Any questions for the house before the young ones come up? Because like I said, we're looking at trying to touch the total man. So for Sunday 1 through the first, second, and third Sunday, we'll come from the powerful living. Fourth Sunday, our pastors will pour into us. Fifth Sunday is a time for us to look at the total man. We're hitting the businesses with so many people saying that I want to start. You know, I've been doing this and I've been doing that. I want to get you in the framework that the money is there so that we can make the right connections, do what we need to do. And as God bless you, he blesses this house. And this is not just a house of leadership, just to be a house of leadership. We lead in so many different areas. So if God has placed it within your spirit, within your heart, within your mind, let's make sure we're doing what we need to do with it, because we need to multiply that and make it grow. All right? Any questions with startup, the forms, or different aspects of that nature, because I'm going to forward those things to you all. We understand? Mm-hmm.
My question is that I could go ahead and register a business without having everything else set.
Because you want to establish time as being in. Mm-hmm. And remember what she said. Most people who have money that they're going to give money, if I'm going to give money to feed the homeless, I'm more likely to give that to an organization who's been feeding the homeless, opposed to an organization coming to me and saying, this is what I'm going to do. Not if it's my money. I want to put it where it's already being done, so I know it's going in the right place. It is just that particular simple. And when we talk about the number of grants, I know that from legislature, how to navigate through legislature to have them to finance your business. Ms. Sutton has gone through all of that, even receiving, what was that, $750,000? That came to simple $25,000 grants or $50,000 or and the research is phenomenal. That's a new thing that the younger folks can teach you, because I'm just going to try to go to Google and place everything into Google, but there are other ways of finding out where things are and where that is and what you need from a variety of things. So don't think, oh my God, what I'm trying to do is just so far-fetched. Not at all. And don't be at a place where you are stuck in it having to be this way. That's why a lot of businesses go out of business, because they don't know how to change with the time. You can change without keeping the main thing the main thing. She's going to service kids, but how she service kids is going to grow and get different, and it's going to elevate and get better. When you stay in the main frame, you get left behind. So we got to make sure that we are maturing, and you don't ever get to a place where you think there's nothing more for me to learn. I got it all. I know how to do flowers. I don't need to know anything else. Oh, it's a mastermind. As knowledge comes, be on top of your game, whatever field that you're in, where you have the best of the best. And I think one of the things that stuck out to me the most, you have to realize you're selling a product, but you're also selling yourself. So you got to make sure you have the proper character, because people are going to judge your business based on how they see you. And you got to make sure when you hire people and you get them on the bus, you got the right people on the bus, and not somebody who's dividing the people on the bus that is, but I'm just not getting on that bus today. No, you got to make sure that it is pleasing, and that they are exhibiting the character and the love of the owner. If you're not the owner, but you got to make sure you're able to give that to the people that you are employing. Don't want to hire somebody because they need a job. Hire them because they can do the job and they can do the best for your business. So do we have any questions? You got something? PJ, look like you injured.
Oh, come on. No, as you're talking, I'm just looking at the way she dressed. You always dress, and you never know. I don't know. Somebody said this. Oh, Lynn McBride said this in her presentation yesterday. Y'all, she had about 100 some people just eating out of food. I mean, the way she presented yesterday, it was how I said that was, well, that's not it. But what it kind of what I'm not saying, because as Dr. Perez was stating, it matters how you look. And you can't just say, I'm going outside, but I'm just going to run to the store. Because you never know who you're going to see next. It might be somebody who is looking at you for your grant. It might be somebody whose name has been praised. This one lady said it was so easy to get her because she was always with me. It opened up the doors. You know that every person who has excelled from this church have done so because they excel in their service to the church. And they had excelled. But I was just saying the way you look and your presentation, all that is so important. How you look is very important. But you don't have to dress up like that every single day you go to the store. However, you got to make sure that you look okay. Because you never know. You want people to get you. Bishop Shepherd used to say, you got a shoe shine business and your shoes ain't never shine. You know how they come to you? You don't really know how to shine shoes. So you got to make sure that you look the part, you carry yourself the part. And if you're part, you're not being partial. You tell the truth. And Dr. Ray can testify to that in that line. You remember this church? They expect you to be a certain way. And sometimes you get favor just with being connected. An apostle called me, you want to put this, the apostle called me, and he said, thank you, your name carried weight for me. And so a lot of times you're affiliated, and then you're trying to go way out here. You got everything right here to help you. So I want to thank you, but it's important. And I look at the way she carried Jay. Jay's going to get